News in Nairobi.
Meanwhile, envoys to Kenya have opposed changes to the electoral laws, saying they put at risk the IEBC's ability to conduct a better election. The envoys who met IEBC officials say changes to electoral laws prior to an election go against global best practices. They've also warned politicians against inciting violence, saying they risk facing travel bans or revocation of their visas.
At the Bomas of Kenya, 14 ambassadors and high commissioners, among them envoys from the US, UK, Denmark, Canada, Australia, Sweden, France and Germany, gathered for a meeting with the IEBC. The agenda, preparations for next month's repeat presidential poll.
It's critical that this election process be better than the last one and that it be free, fair, credible and peaceful.
The meeting, coming just days after Jubilee, fronted changes to electoral laws, which seek, among other things, to trim the powers of the IEBC chairperson and to entrench manual transmission of results, which will prevail if there is a discrepancy between the electronically and manually transmitted results.
The draft Election Laws Amendment Bill, for example, puts at risk the IEBC's ability to conduct a better election within the mandated 60-day timeline and unnecessarily increases political tensions.
To the envoys, the timing of the proposed changes is wrong.
Wise reforms to an established electoral process take time. They require thoughtful reflection and broad agreement from all parties. Well-established international best practice is to avoid changes to electoral rules just prior to an election.
Our feeling is that international best practice is not to change electoral laws so close to an election.
They want NASA and Jubilee to be reasonable in their demands to the IEBC.
It would be impossible to remake the IEBC in a way that satisfies all political demands, and everyone should refrain from undermining it. All should give the IEBC space, time, and respect. Do not paralyze the IEBC.
Opposition coalition NASA is sticking to its demands, which include the removal from office of several IEBC officials, among them CEO Ezra Chiloba, and a new firm to replace Al Ghurair in the printing of ballot papers.
The growing list of political demands, inflammatory rhetoric, and boycott threats undermine the IEBC's ability to carry out its constitutionally mandated job to hold a new election. For example, if IEBC personnel are to be removed, it should only be done by the appropriate authorities and be consistent with the law and relevant regulations.
As politicians carry on with their campaigns, UK and US envoys are warning that action will be taken against politicians making remarks that may incite violence.
There are many different potential measures that we could take, and I'm not going to get into a lengthy speculation about them. But I will say that obviously visa bans and other travel measures are one possibility. Again, we would be looking at the actions of people to determine what sorts of responses are appropriate depending on what people are doing.
We're also hoping for a respectful and peaceful poll. We're watching carefully. Anyone who is found to be inciting or engaging in violence must be held accountable, and that should be done by Kenyan institutions. But we are following too, and the UK reserves the right to take appropriate action, which may include refusing and revoking visas.
The envoys are set to meet other stakeholders in the upcoming repeat poll, but with NASA and Jubilee sticking to their hardline positions on the election, the deadlock persists with just 23 days to go. Rita Tinina, KTN News.